What is going on YouTube? Clientech here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Nexus 6, one of the biggest phones in terms of screen real estate we have seen all year. Let's take a look. So, to start off things, we have the box it comes in. This isn't really an unboxing, but just show you what it comes with. We obviously have the phone. Put that aside. We have the Nexus manuals, and I couldn't get the charging stuff back in, so I have it off to the side here. One moment. We have the power brick with the Motorola logo on it. This is the quick charging version, turbo power supply. I got about 36% in 30 minutes from 50%, which is really nice to have in a phone. It also comes with this pretty long USB power supply cable, which is nice and thick and is not going to break anytime soon. We also get a SIM tray remover, which I have since replaced with this just pin because I lost mine because I don't know. Thought it was in the box, but I guess I misplaced it. Now this is going to take me a little bit. Okay, well, anyway, despite me not being able to get the SIM card out, it comes out with the pin. Anyway, moving on to the body. On the front side, you can obviously see we have the dual front-facing speakers, which are very nice and loud for media consumption, and when you have it lying flat on a table, you're not going to have to put it in a bowl or anything, although a bowl does amplify the sound a little bit. On this side, we have the volume rocker and power button, which actually Motorola added a really nice feature here. We get this, if it could focus, please focus. We get these grooves on the side that help you gain some tacticity, which is like plural form of like tactileness to your power button, so you can differentiate between your volume rockers and your power button. Moving on to the other side, we have nothing, completely flat. On the bottom, we have a standard micro USB cable, and on the back, we have a microphone. Moving on towards the very back of the phone, I know it looks black, but it is midnight blue. We have this sort of fingerprint magnet-ish soft touch plastic with the Nexus logo in metal and the Motorola logo right there. We also have a 13 megapixel back-facing camera with a dual flash. We get this sort of nice curved design here, sort of like we see on the Note 4. I don't know if that's really a comparable thing, but that's what I made me think of. On top, we have a 3.5mm headphone jack, and on the front, we just have your sensors and a 2 megapixel front-facing camera. Moving on to some basic specs, this is probably one of the best phones you can get in terms of specs, because as you can see, in ranking with other phones, the Nexus 6 is at the very top, even higher than the Note 4. We also have this Meizu MX4, which I'm not quite sure what that phone is. Anyway, powering this beast, we have Android Lollipop stock, should mention, and the Qualcomm Snapdragon 805 and the Adreno 420 powering it. There is no expandable storage, unfortunately, on this phone. The back is not removable, but we do start off with 32 gigabytes of RAM, or 32 gigabytes of storage, or 64 if you get the other model. It also comes with 3 gigabytes of RAM. The camera on this, while not incredibly impressive, can record 4K, has optical image stabilization, as I said before, a dual ring flash for a more shallow depth of field. If I could just demo that right now. I keep putting on the self timer because I'm good. So let's see if we get a shallower depth of field. It's really shaking there. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it's just a scam. I don't know. But anyway, moving on to some big features of this phone. Obviously, its screen size. This phone, as you can see, it's massive. It's 6 inches or 5.9 if you want to be exact, down to the exact measurement. Not quite as big as the iPhone 6, just because the iPhone has some extra bezel size at the bottom here. Screen size is very similar with both of them. Now, you may be saying, wait, why is there water here? Well, this phone is actually waterproofed by Motorola. I believe there's a coating on it. It's not like IP67 certified or anything, but if you put it in here, well, this didn't go as planned. Yeah, I'll be right back. Alright guys, so we are back and I found something that the Nexus 6 can actually fit into. This orange thing right here. I should probably put it on first, shouldn't I? But yeah, it's not really gonna work underwater, but it's waterproof, to say the least. I'm just gonna dry this off really quick, if you don't mind me. Now I wouldn't really recommend just dunking it like that, like leisurely. It's more for just the accidental spill, and maybe if you're using it with wet hands, you shouldn't have anything to worry about. But even then, if you do get a really deep dinking, I would dry it off with rice, but as you can see, the phone does work perfectly fine. Moving on to like the usability of this phone, I would give it like a 10 out of 10. It's probably one of the easiest phones I've used, and Lollipop has really come close to Apple in the simplistic terms, because I really haven't found this phone too hard to give to someone and say, okay, well here, you want to try out my huge phone? And they're like, oh, this is pretty simple to use. I do have a custom skin on it at the moment, which will allow me to have like a bunch of icons down here and be able to do all these fancy gestures, like pulling down from the notification menu, which is something I would like to talk about. I feel like this phone is not too big, although it is really big for most people. The only complaint I had is reaching up here, so yeah, that's about it. So I just got a launcher, or skin, and it allows me to swipe down from there, as well as to double turn to turn off, which I feel like they should have added, as I said in the, as Trent said in the LG G3 review. Moving on to the stock side of things, this is what stock Android is going to look like. You're going to have a lot of the Google animations with, you know, the stock look, feel things. One thing I would like to say about this phone is that you're not going to make it lag. I can pull up all the apps, which I will do in a moment. I'll just speed it through right now. But you cannot get this phone to lag. It's got a top-of-the-line processor, well, for 2014 that is, the LG G Flex 2, and other flagship phones that have the 810 are obviously going to be outperforming this, but nonetheless, I say it's good enough for what it is. So because I didn't really feel like opening up all the apps, I opened up quite a few, and we get this sort of carousel-like app swiper away, where you can just swipe the apps. It doesn't matter how quickly you're going or how slowly, they're gonna get cleared. You also have, you know, obviously the new animations for clearing apps, as well as the bottom buttons here, which have been redesigned in the Lollipop fashion. Looking into the bar, or the pull down notification here, we have our Wi-Fi, Bluetooth emergency calls, airplane, auto rotate, flashlight, location, and the ability to cast your screen to your TV, which I will show you right now. So this is basically me casting it to the TV, and you can use all the functions, including, interestingly enough, the camera. So if you want to use it as like a baby monitor, maybe, I don't know, you'd have to have a Chromecast in your TV, so it's kind of a lot for a baby monitor, but I don't know how much they are. So anyway, you can use it as a baby monitor if you chose to do so. Onto battery life. This has a 3,330 milliamp hour battery life, very similar to the Galaxy Note 4, actually exactly the same as the Galaxy Note 4. And I found that this phone lasted me quite a bit, as it's nearing towards the end of the day, and I actually have 79% left, and it's currently 5:56, and I've been using this since this morning. I haven't been using it a ton, just sort of writing notes for school and whatnot, but I have been using it. One problem that a lot of people said was that when you had the brightness all the way down, you would see purple, a lot of like sort of pinkish purpley tint, but I feel like this next generation model, the XT03, I believe, I could be getting that completely wrong, but just a guess, I feel like it got rid of that problem. If I forgot to mention this earlier, this is a AMOLED capacitive touchscreen with 493 ppi. The weight of this phone is not too bad, not as heavy as the Note 4, coming in at 184 grams, or approximately 6.5 ounces. Wrapping up things, you may be asking yourself, why do I want a phablet, and which one should I go with? 6 Plus, Note 4, Nexus 6? Well, to be honest, in terms of pricing, the Nexus 6 is probably going to run you the most. So although many people may disagree with me, the Note 4 is going to be the better option just because of the usability, like the stylus, multitasking, which this phone unfortunately doesn't have. I mean, I feel like it should. It's Google, you know. I feel like they should have some sort of cool feature in there. It's definitely not as feature-packed as the Note 4. It doesn't exactly have the camera to beat the Note 4 or the 6 Plus, and the size is, again, plus in my mind, a minus or con in other people's minds. But if you are ultimately looking for that lollipop experience, I would definitely go with this phone, although the Note 4 is expected to release Lollipop on their devices very soon. So out of the three, I would definitely choose the Note 4 over this just because of the usability and that it's going to be getting the Lollipop upgrade very soon. Wrapping up this video, I hope you enjoy. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it. If your feeling's more complicated than this, leave a comment down below explaining why, and we will try to fix our problems in the future. As I said, or may have not said before, we are just a channel that's just sort of starting off and may not have the right words you'd like to hear, but we kind of have this channel as a consumer, sort of, you know, anyone can watch and will understand. So if you would like to stay subscribed for more tech-related videos like this one, it would be much appreciated. And as always, have a good day.